Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mike, and I like to play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin. I like to play with two Pokemon on the field. Happy National Banana Cream Pie Day, Mike.
It's National Banana Cream Pie Day.
Also, the weekend of tournaments.
But
so
mostly
many tournaments.
Banana Cream Pie Day. We are recording on a different day than usual. Usually we record on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. But because of all of the stuff that was going on this past weekend, we had to push our recording for the first time.
Yeah. But I mean, it works out. We have a lot to talk about today.
Oh
that one day made such a big difference. Yeah.
It really did. It really did. And we're going to talk about all of that today. But first, we need to get some housekeeping done, starting with, oh, look at that. It's our Pokemon Spotlight giveaway number 3 winner. Last night, of course, at midnight, the Gleam contest ended. The winner of the 4 Pokemon, the Tyranitar, Whimsicott, Clefairy with a Friend Guard, and Intimidate Incineroar, is Caleb VGC. So congratulations, Caleb. I've been seeing Caleb around on the Twitter quite a bit. Very active in the Pokemon community, and I think that's really nifty.
And it's great because he was one of the people who was like, oh, I really need these Pokemon. So you know what?
Yeah.
It works out.
It's true. It's true. Well, you got him. So congratulations. I'll be reaching out to you after the podcast via email. So check out for that. Watch out for that. Look out for that. Next off, we had a friendly giveaway on our Patreon. And I say friendly in that we're all active on our Discord anyway. And so, we were giving away 3 different Pokemon, but, rejects were made and given out. So
yeah, that'll be happening soon.
Exactly. Yeah. We have fun on the Patreon. We like to give stuff away. We like to talk to people. We like to give stuff to people. You can always find us on patreon.com/Pokesports. Yeah,
you can do it, Mike. Do it again.
Patreon.com/Pokesports podcast. There it is.
There it is. It came out eventually.
Of course. And then we have a new shirt design that you can find on our Teespring, teespring.com/stores/Pokesports.
We want to try to have like a new design every month. That's kind of our goal. So there's your design for the month. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I like that one. It's a take on an old classic, but yeah. If you have any ideas, by the way, of t-shirt ideas, make sure to send those to us as well. Just get in contact with us. We're everywhere. Now, let's get right into the news. Listen, it's been a while since I have spoken to you guys about Smogon, and I know, and I apologize for all of my one Pokemon on the field friends, but there's just been so much going on in VGC lately that you can dedicate, and we have been dedicating entire podcasts to VGC because there's just so much to talk about. But this week there is lots. Now, Series 3 is finally here. We've got Series 3 on our hands. Now, what that means is that there's a whole new set of potential bans for Smogon. Now, unsurprisingly to anybody, Melmetal straight to Ubers. Went all the way up. What happened there? Whoop. There it is. Melmetal went straight to Ubers. So sorry about that, buddy. Didn't really get much of a chance.
Didn't get any chance, actually.
He didn't get any chance at all.
You didn't get to use Melmetal unless you played competitive. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee.
Exactly. Well, now not only can you use Melmetal, but you can use G-Max Melmetal. So,
oh baby.
That's a whole thing. Now, moving on, we've got the OU and UU actually usage stats for February. Unsurprisingly, again, Dragapult remains number 1. And this is kind of one of the reasons why we don't really talk about Smogon all that much. We don't really talk about OU all that much because Dragapult It's just there. That is what it is. What I did find interesting though is Komodo is now number 7. Jeez. Komodo, you'll remember, was moved up from UU to OU just a couple weeks ago. And so now to find itself on number 7 of the usage charts, like, oh boy, that's one overused Pokemon.
That's a good Pokemon.
That's a good Pokemon.
Looking at these is so weird because Dragapult is actually seeing a downwards trend in VGC, and it's still like number 1 in OU. That's surprising to me.
Absolutely. But then number 2 is its natural enemy, Clefable. So it's really funny how... Yeah. It's so funny how Dragapult is number 1, and then the next 3 are just things that can take out Dragapult.
Yep, pretty much. It's like, oh, Dragapult cannot touch me.
Exactly. Now then in UU is a little bit more interesting right now. It's a good time to be playing UU.
Oh, wow.
Number 1 is the, what do they call him? The Dapper King of UU. That's Galarian Weezing, up at 32% usage on teams. Galarian Weezing's really good, guys. Use it on your teams.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, neutralizing gas is just, it's so unique. It's so strong. I could see why.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then number 2, we'll only talk about those top 2 there. Number 2 is Noivern at 22%. Now, Noivern also I have not been seeing just in
that's a weird
games. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a cool one though. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, next item on the docket here, our next regionals. I'm super excited for this one. Is going to be in Ontario, Canada, my hometown. Not my hometown, but my home province. And
you don't gotta go very far.
There. What?
Yeah, you don't gotta go very far.
I don't. I have to drive like an hour. It's like an hour away from me. It's so great. But
it's not bad at all.
Yeah, that weekend we're both going, me and Kevin.
And the new rules are instated there.
The new rules are there.
First regionals with the season 3 rules. I'm excited, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are you going to bring out the Lapras?
I'm going to bring out the Lapras. I'm going to bring out like an entirely new team.
Oh,
yeah. You might remember I've been putting out videos every Saturday on the Pokésports YouTube channel, talking about my trudging through VGC. I had been using one team, but ever since Series 3 came out, that team has just been completely outclassed by another team that involves a G-Max Lapras. And that's all I'm going to really say about that, because it's an interesting team. I'll give it a week, let people watch it on YouTube, and then I'll talk about it next week.
It's a big change, though.
Yeah.
Little tiny teaser. It's a big change.
Oh, yeah. Major change.
Next, we have on the list, we have Pokemon of the Year.
Yeah.
Greninja won. Who would have thought?
I mean, that's an interesting choice. Like,
yeah.
Was that Pokemon of the Year, Pokemon of the Decade?
I think of the year.
Oh, Pokemon of the Year.
Yeah, it was the year.
Because that was the year of the Ash Greninja.
Yeah, I mean, there was Ash Greninja. Well, I mean, Ash Greninja was a long time ago, but there was Ash Greninja. I guess Greninja's in Smash.
Yeah,
a bunch of reasons.
Well, I mean,
the interesting ones are the following
Greninja
too.
is going to be Incineroar, so.
I was expecting Charizard. Like, with how much Charizard pandering there is, geez. I'm surprised it wasn't even top 3.
Well, I mean, you can only win it so many times in a row, right?
Yeah.
Like, what year would Charizard have been the one who won?
Gen 1?
Gen 1, Gen 2.
95.
Also Gen 3. Gen 4 too. Oh, hey, look, Gen 5. Yeah.
But yeah, the follow-ups were Lucario and Mimikyu. Interesting ones. Lucario I could see. Mimikyu I didn't know it was that popular, but I guess it is.
Well, Mimikyu was really big in Japan. They made a big thing about Mimikyu over there. It was really
like
cute.
Pikachu, but spoopy.
Yeah, spoopy Pikachu. Spoopy Pikachu.
And also, we got a trailer drop this week.
Yeah.
Zarude Sandstorm, the rogue monkey Pokemon. The big old dark grass monkey with very bad ability. But you know what? It looks very scary.
What's his ability?
His ability is Leaf Guard.
Oh, no.
It's like, okay, you made a grass dark type for Sun teams, but you gave it the same ability as like what? Like Leafeon? Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, the ability is not great. It's another grass mythical, which is super interesting because they already revealed to us that Calyrex is a thing, which is grass psychic. So now we have a grass dark.
They're going to fight each other.
Is there gonna be a grass trinity? Who knows?
No, they're gonna fight each other.
And guess
I never
what?
even thought about that.
Yeah. Rogue Monkey or Zarude has the upper hand with that dark typing though.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean that's the whole like Eternatus versus the dogs thing. Is like one is meant to counter the other.
Legends fighting legends. What does the world come to? But the description for this mon says when fighting, it swings around using trees and their branches like a monkey, attacking relentlessly with its sharp claws like a monkey, or any other means it has like a monkey. Its quick wit helps it excel in battle. So it's a smart Pokemon. Like a monkey. Its only known moves are currently Power Whip and Taunt, because those are the only moves that were shown in the trailer.
Do you think that has any place in VGC right now?
I mean, I hope it had Power Whip. That's the strongest physical grass move.
That's fair.
But Taunt, I don't know. Every dark type has Taunt, so it doesn't really tell us much. In terms of what it can be in VGC, the typing's kind of not that great. Dark grass, it has the same typing as a Shiftry. And how much do you see a Shiftry?
Not at all. But I mean, dark types are pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to see stats. That's what I would definitely have to see numbers behind this Pokemon. It's clearly going to be a physical attacker.
Yeah.
So that just tells me that, it's walled by Incineroar, because fire dark type can't really touch Incineroar. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Incineroar is going absolutely nuts right now.
Yep.
We don't have this here, but I do want to make mention. Ever since Series 3 came out, Pikalytics has been putting Togekiss and Incineroar both above 60% usage, which is just crazy.
That's disgusting.
It's on every team.
I can vouch for that. I was recording things today, and it was on every team.
Right.
To the point where, like, guys, if you're gonna play Battle Stadium right now, just run a counter to this thing, run a Passimian, run a Milotic, you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare for it, because if you don't, you're just gonna be at a disadvantage. Or you know what? Run it yourself.
Exactly. Either be part of the problem or be part of the solution.
You decide. But yeah, getting back to Zarude real quick. There's no release date yet for this thing. They said more information is gonna be revealed soon. In the trailer, but I mean, you could probably expect this to come out alongside Isle of Armor. That's what I figure.
Probably something like that. Or it'll be a GameStop exclusive. It won't.
Yeah. No.
This weekend has been something of legends. This is going to go down in history as the weekend where all the tournaments happened. The weekend where all the tournaments happened. What happened this weekend? Kevin, you went to PAX. I stayed home and went online. Other people went to Collinsville for an actual Pokemon tournament. But there's been a ton of Pokemon going on this weekend. And we're going to talk about all of those. Starting with Kevin and his trip to PAX East 2020.
Now, I went to PAX, and then I was looking at the I was looking at the app, and I was just like, let me just search Pokemon and see what happens. And I saw that there was a Pokemon tournament that same day I was there at 5 p.m. I was like, oh, I'm going to go and register. So I went to register, and then they were like, oh, the tournament's full. But if you sign up now, you'll be number 2 on the overdraft. So you'll probably still get in. So I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So I signed up. I was number 2 spot on the overdraft. And then 5 o'clock came. And there was like 10 people that didn't show up. So total the tournament was 64 people.
Wow. That's cap.
And yeah, that was the cap. So I think 10 people didn't show up. There were 12 on the overdraft list. So just 2 people weren't allowed in. Poor guys. They waited there till 5, but whatever.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Now, it wasn't VGC 2020. It was similar. It was essentially VGC 2020 rules, but there was no Perish Trap, there was no Oko moves, and all G-Maxes were legal.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The Perish song I kind of understand, and the Oko moves I kind of understand, because it was a best of 1 tournament because of time allocation. So if you're gonna win a battle through an Oko move or Perish Trap, that's like that's kind of not, super great in best of one scenarios. It's just kind of lucky at that point, and it's not fun for anybody.
How did the rounds go? Were they seeds? Were they Swiss? Like what happened?
It was all tournament bracket, all best of one. So just like random assignment. Yeah. It's all tournament bracket, best of one. And then, all GMAXs were legal. So I got to go against some pretty interesting GMAXs there. It was, I got to go against a GMAX Durlodon, a GMAX Colossal. I think Gabby Snyder, who we'll talk about later, got to go against the GMAX Lapras.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I think for the most part, people that were super into VGC brought their standard VGC teams. So they were kind of at a disadvantage, but, we had to deal with it. It was the rules.
Right.
Now, I was at an even bigger disadvantage because my team that I was most comfortable with and the team that I felt was the best built was locked for the international challenge.
Right.
So I couldn't use that one. So I had to go back to an old favorite. I brought my Indeedee, Drifblim, Bisharp, Conkeldurr, Rotom-H, and Sylveon team.
Right.
So Drifblim, Indeedee, big strong things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually great because I went against a lot of teams there that they were like, dude, you led with Indeedee and Drifblim. I had no idea what you were gonna do, and then you just made that Indeedee huge and one shot me.
Oh my god!
I'm like,
so
yep.
tell the people a little bit how that strategy works, because I know you were keeping it under wraps for a little bit, but let's get into it.
So the reason why I have male Indeedee paired with Drifblim is because I kind of use Drifblim as my supportive mon. So Drifblim comes in with the Psychic Seed, and then Indeedee comes in, sets up the Psychic Terrain, breaks the Psychic Seed. Drifblim now gets Unburden Boost, becoming one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, essentially. That paired with, Tailwind and the fastest Strength Sap in the game can help support the Indeedee to the left of me very well. So the DD to the left has Life Orb, Max Special Attack, Modest, in Psychic Terrain, Max Mind Storms. Like that is the big damage. So that's kind of just the idea I had behind it. And you know what? It works very well. People don't see it coming. People think, oh, Indeedee support. Indeedee's going to Trick Room. I had people doing Imprison Trick Room on me in some battles, and I'm just like, nah. That's not what I'm doing.
Now watch out for Indeedee. Indeedee's coming for you.
Nope. And they were like, I went for Imprison, and then I saw you Dynamax Indeedee. I'm like, yep. So that was great. I ended up getting top 4 that tournament. So that was pretty good.
That's incredible that you managed to top 4 with Indeedee and Drifblim.
Yeah, I top 4'd. I ended up getting knocked out by Gabby Snyder, who is, you guys might know her as like one of the casters of Play Pokemon.
Which is hilarious, by the way, because that is not the first time that you've lost to Gabby at Bad PAX.
This is the second time that Gabby has knocked me out of the PAX tournament. The first time was in 2015.
Oh, that's so funny. History repeats itself.
Yeah, I don't know if she remembers, but yeah, history repeated itself. But yeah, it was great because, I mean, she knocked me out, but she ended up winning the whole thing. So at least I could say I was knocked out by the champion.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to her. This was apparently her first time at PAX to win a tournament.
She always got second place. Yeah,
exactly,
she had a second place curse.
I mean, she's notably amazing at the game and always coming in second. But this time, she took it home.
Broke that curse.
Broke the curse.
Her team was super interesting too.
Really?
It was Gravity, Trick Room, Hypnosis with Gothitelle, Rhyperior, and Dusclops. I couldn't handle it. There was a situation where my Bisharp was Focus Sashed. If it was Life Orb, I would have been able to Oko the Dusclops most likely.
Okay.
And then that would have ruined the Trick Room. And then maybe I stood a chance, but then, you never know how the rest of the battle's going to go. But that was my best chance, was getting rid of the Trick Room, because otherwise my team didn't have an answer to it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common thread kind of in Pokemon right now, in VGC anyways. Just find a way to get around Trick Room and you might be okay.
Yeah. So that was my tournament experience. But,
but how was PAX? Yeah.
Like overall experience in PAX, it was super interesting because if I'm going to be entirely honest with myself, like my PAX experience, like the past years, like has been pretty similar. You kind of go to PAX, you know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
But this was the first year in a long time that I actually went, for the purpose of, having fun, but also networking as a content creator. I haven't been like a steady content creator in like, more than 4 years.
Yeah.
So just having that be my motivation and boost my motivation and just like made me enjoy the experience so much more.
Yeah.
And I just want to take a second. I'm going to get a little sappy.
Oh.
Wanted to thank the listeners of the podcast and those that support us for giving me that experience, because it is all thanks to you guys that I was able to get that fire lit in me again.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys made me get top 4.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, I mean, and that's why we're about to travel across the country to go to an internet. So
yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's why you're coming to Canada and, staying in my place. We're going to do an in-person podcast, which is great.
Yep. First time ever. Be there, be square.
Ever. We're inviting everyone else. So everybody who's sitting there in Twitch right now, Twitch chat, you guys are all invited to my house. Don't actually show up or else I will call the authorities.
My address is 1, 2, 3, 4.
My
1, 2, 3, 4 Street.
1.
Oh boy.
Now, listen.
Look.
Apart from PAX, which was great, and it's actually, you know what? Hang on. Like, did you see anything at PAX? Yeah, you got to network and stuff, but like, what happened?
I got to go to a couple booths. Okay. I went to an Adult Swim panel. I got a Samurai Jack drawstring bag.
Cool.
I went to the Pokemon. There was a Pokemon booth right at the entrance. Like, in the PAX, how you have the floor upstairs and then you have the floor down below?
Yes.
There was a Pokemon booth right there when you walk in. The first thing you see. And they were giving away pins. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't get one. Well, you had to play a max raid battle. But they were level 1 max raid battles. So you're going to win it.
Easy.
Yeah, easy mode.
So free.
Wow. So free. And they were like the quality pins too, like the $15 ones from PokemonCenter.com. Like they were legit pins, yeah.
Wow. And then I'm hearing in the chat that they broke it, so they started giving away pins. What does that mean?
The Switch just stopped working. So they just like, okay, here, take them. This is our quota for the day, and we just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Wow.
Got some pins. All you have to do is show that you have a Switch, and then they're like, here you go. That's good enough.
That's beautiful.
Mostly walk around and just visit a bunch of places. That whole PAX experience is to just get as much free stuff as possible. That's how I've always done it.
Did you win?
Just walk. Win what?
PAX.
Free stuff?
Yeah.
Did I win PAX?
Yeah, I mean, because like that's the metric of how you win PAX. It's just if you walk away with a ton of free stuff.
Oh yeah, I won PAX, and I also got I stopped at Limited Run Games, which if you don't know, they print physical copies of digital games on the eShop, and then they give it away for a limited time. And they were there at PAX, and they sell games that are no longer in print, so you can't buy them online. So scalping prices for them are stupid high. And I was able to get them for retail.
Great.
So yeah, that's really nice. I got Shantae.
Thanks, PAX.
And the Pirate Curse.
Oh, yeah, cool. Shantae. That's a good game. I've never played it, but I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, it's a great platformer.
Sweet.
Back to Pokemon.
Yeah, back to Pokemon. While you were gallivanting around at Penny Arcade Expo, I was sitting down trying to get my Ball Guy jersey shirt.
I was playing Pokemon.
My Ball Guy shirt. You were playing Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I was playing Pokemon, exactly. Now, the international February 2020 challenge, I think, not championship, a challenge in which you could win points, in which you could win not
T-shirt.
Win, I guess, but you get a T-shirt for participating in game.
Participation trophy, Mike.
Participation trophy. Yeah, I still just give me the red polo, please. I just want the red polo. We both ended up playing, but I think I played a ton of games. How many did you end up playing, actually?
I think I don't know the actual number. I know I had Ryan in the Discord chat tallying it up for a while, but I'm gonna say it was around 20 games, and I went around 15-5, maybe 13-6, something around there.
That's not bad. I ended up playing about 35 to 40 by the end of the day. By the end of the weekend, I should say. You were allowed to play 45 games per day between Thursday and Sunday. But something that I learned pretty quickly is like that doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter how many games you play, really. What matters is your rating. It's because the way that the tournament worked is, you're allowed to play those games, but at the end of the day, whoever has the highest rating is the one who won, not the one who had the highest wins to losses. So what that meant is you could go on a like 20-25 game win streak and have like an obscenely high rating of like 18 to 1900, but you could do that in less than 30 games versus if you played like quick math, 180 games that you could play over the weekend. Like you could very easily go 90 and 90 and just even yourself completely out and end at like a 1500 baseline rating. So not really worth doing. And it is worth saying that there are a couple of people on Twitter, although they haven't really given out the results yet. There were a couple of people on Twitter who took screenshots of when they hit number one. Nothing really came with a timestamp, so there was no real like proof that this person was the person who actually won the tournament. But these people were number one at like 1850 rating, which to their credit took like 23, 24, 25 games.
Yeah, they were like 25 and 1. So they just won. They probably just went 25 streak. And then the second they lost, they stopped. Which is what I think a lot of people did.
If I were that good, or if the tournament started on March 1st with Series 3, and I was able to try my incredibly gimmicky team that I think is going to get found out and exposed over time. If I could just use that for the tournament and get like a butt ton of wins just right off the bat, I would absolutely do that. And just the first time I lost, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you had to do for that tournament. My experience was similar. I ran a different team for the like I explained before. My team was locked for the PAX tournament because I was running a different team. I was running a Hatterene, Lightbird, Indeedee, Rhyperior, Torkoal, Conkeldurr.
A different Indeedee.
Yeah, different. A female Indeedee this time.
Oh.
But yeah, Hatterene. I like it a lot with Lightbird because that whole priority trick room gimmick thing.
Yeah.
Before it was you used to do it with Riolu, but now Lightbird has the ability to do it, and Lightbird's just a lot more solid of a Pokemon in my opinion. So you can just use that now. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I got to play that. There was a couple things I did learn though that I am gonna modify to my team. I learned that Hatterene could use a sash, especially when going against Duraludon.
Yeah.
Because Hatterene is my only setter on this team.
Only trick room setter.
Yeah, if Hatterene goes down, I have no trick room. And if I have no trick room, I lose.
Fair enough.
A couple other things is I gave my Lightbird a mental herb because taunt ruins my whole strategy, and I didn't want that to happen. So the sash I moved on to my Hatterene. Lightbird I left with a mental herb because Lightbird's necessary. It's part of that strategy as well. And then I learned not to mock punch in psychic terrain.
That's fair.
I also learned don't pranks or fake tears in psychic terrain. And also something that I found out earlier today is apparently I didn't have EVs on that turn.
Really?
I went in with 0 EV Hatterene. So
whoops. So that entire weekend you had 0 EVs on that Hatterene.
Yeah. So I'm surprised I won 15 games because I brought it to every battle. So yeah, that's my international challenge experience.
Oh man, I mean, mine was pretty standard. I was using the same kind of team that I always use in Lapras, Whimsicott, Duraludon, Galarian Darmanitan, Conkeldurr, and one other that honestly just doesn't matter. Togekiss.
Togekiss.
Yeah, I never ended up using Togekiss, like maybe once or twice.
So Mike, I heard that something spicy happened during your stream when you were playing this international challenge.
Oh, Kevin,
so do you want to tell me who you paid off to get a double freeze.
Who
did you pay?
I'm going to put it up on Twitter. So if you go to Pokesports Pod, you should be able to find a video of the luckiest double freeze that I have ever gotten. First of all, I never get freezes, just ever. That's just not a thing that happens.
Likely story.
I managed to freeze a Duraludon for, I want to say, upwards of 5 turns. And then facing off against a Jellicent as well. I was using Lapras, so obviously Freeze Dry is my best friend. I used Freeze Dry on the Jellicent, froze that too, and ended up winning the game. Not handily. So it was a good team, but got a double freeze, and I was very proud about that, and it was a very fun time. I was really actually quite discouraged about that game. I thought that I was like almost certainly going to lose, and so when I got the double freeze, I was like, oh, wait a second, my whole life has changed.
I now like Pokemon again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
until it happened, and then that person literally snapped their cartridge in half. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like you trip and fall and scrape your knee, and you're all sad about it, but then you look at what you tripped over, and it was a $20 bill. So,
jeez,
how many times?
Yeah, that's our international challenge. Never.
Well,
I'm lucky if I find pennies.
Oh, America, you guys have pennies.
Do you not have pennies?
No, we got rid of those like 5 years ago. What are you talking? Really?
I guess you guys are living in 2020.
Canada got rid of pennies like the longest time ago.
No, we like Lincoln, dude.
Speaking of, how do I segue this? I can't even segue. It's fine. We're talking about
Lincoln.
Collinsville. Let's talk about Collinsville. Are we doing that after the break? We are indeed doing that after the break. We're going to talk about Collinsville after the break. So enjoy taking a little breather, everybody. Take a little stretch. Stand up. Thank yourself. Do some affirmations. Go stand in front of a mirror. Tell yourself you're worth it. And we will see you. There's Kevin. We will see you in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. During the break, I went and checked Twitter because that's just kind of what I do sometimes. Pokesports Pod. I saw a tweet from Stark Maximum who said, "Oh, right, you guys delayed the podcast," in all caps. I was just thinking today, how did I miss Pokesports yesterday? So, true. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people didn't know that we delayed it. We mentioned it last week. I told it about it on Twitter. It's a thing.
All these podcast listeners are all like, it doesn't make a difference for us.
Yeah, exactly.
We get it on the same day.
It's still Wednesday. We're still good. Anyway, let's talk about Collinsville, the thing that we didn't end up going to.
But we ended up hearing about. At least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot about
Collinsville. Do you wish you went?
Yeah. I always wish I go to events. I mean, that's just kind of, to be entirely honest, if you're gonna ask me a week ago, I would have been disappointed that I wasn't going to Collinsville and I was going to PAX instead.
Right.
But I had so much fun at PAX this year, so now I'm conflicted.
Yeah, I mean,
they need to pick different weekends.
Yeah, I wish. they kind of. I'm kind of reinvigorated to go to PAX.
Yeah.
Next year for sure is what I've been saying for the past 5 years. So Collinsville had 369 players attending, which means lots of people are getting points. Actually, speaking of, quick shout out. If you want to know about how the points system works for Play Pokemon, go and check out our new series called Pokesports Plus. It's available on podcast providers only. So if you're listening to this on Twitch or YouTube, simply go into your podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify and check out Pokesports Plus. We've just done one on Professor Joey or with Professor Joey. And then we did one recently with Kelvin, who is the creator of Babiri.net. That one was a really interesting one if you're really into how things work. But yeah, Collinsville, 369 people. Day one had 9 rounds of Swiss bracket. So it's another one of these tournaments that is just running these players ragged. like just game after game after game, and they're all best of 3. So, ugh.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah. Day 2 was top 16 single elimination. So after you get all of your seeds done in the 9 rounds, the top 16 of those rounds are kind of pitted against each other. And those are the ones that you really want to be watching on Twitch or on YouTube, wherever they're streaming it, because those are where the really good games happen. The really good games. Of course, we've got an $11,000 prize pool for this regional alone, which honestly, not a bad prize pool for Pokemon standards.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Especially since that's considering each division.
Yeah, that's true. First place got $3,000 and 200 points. Second place got $2,000 and 160 points. Third and fourth got $1,000 and 130 points. And then everybody else, well, not every, I think it's like up to top 64 or up to something like that got points as well.
Yeah.
Kevin, tell us a little bit about the people who won.
Now, something that's interesting about the finals match is that both the 2 finalists were pretty low seeded on the top 16. We had I think what was it? Wolf Glick was the 10th seed, and then Andrew Ding was the 13th seed. Like, they were very low on the seeding. So it's interesting that they actually climbed up the ladder at the end of the tournament to get to the finals. And all in all, these teams were very interesting compared to what we saw before in Oceania Internationals. Like, Oceania Internationals, we just saw Togekiss, Arcanine, and Friends. Like, we just saw those Pokemon over and over. Here we're seeing a lot more diversity. We're seeing, Sylveon. We're seeing Mimikyu. We're seeing things like Liepard in the top 8. Like, that's pretty interesting to me, at least.
And I mean, who are we kidding? We're seeing Togekiss everywhere still.
Yeah.
But a little bit less Arcanine and a lot more Friends. So that's been pretty cool. Seeing the Liepard was really interesting. Seeing a Raichu come in 3rd, that was pretty sweet.
So, if you guys just want a quick rundown of what the teams are, first place was Andrew Jadis Ding, brought a Sylveon, Gothitelle, Arcanine, Durant, Milotic, who we're going to talk about a little later because that was kind of the highlight star of the whole series, and then a Tyranitar. Second place was Wolf Glick with a Dusclops, a Mimikyu, Rhyperior, Reuniclus, Togekiss, and Liepard, running a hard Trick Room team there.
Yeah.
So
an interesting thing about Andrew specifically, that Milotic running Muddy Water to trigger a weakness policy, I believe, on the Tyranitar.
No, Muddy Water just hits the opponent, actually.
Oh, it just hits the opponent. That's right.
Yeah.
So Muddy Water taking tons of damage, doing tons of damage to the opponent team. Really interesting Pokemon there.
Now, there was a little bit of controversy at Collinsville.
There was.
And I feel like we should talk about this because it's relevant. Now, the wrong rule set was essentially being played in Collinsville.
Yeah.
So what this means is that Battle Stadium Double Series 3 rules were being played at the event, which run on a 20-minute timer. They changed this timer for Series 3 for some reason. Or I believe that this timer has always been the case with Battle Stadium. But it's a 20-minute timer. And if those of you that are well-versed in the VGC rules and have read them, you would know that VGC rules state that the game time is 15 minutes flat. Like, no game can exceed 15 minutes.
And I mean, it makes sense to me that there's a 20-minute timer versus a 15-minute timer built into the game, specifically because of all the connection time. There's a lot of downtime when you're waiting for an opponent, when you're waiting for an opponent's connection or your connection. So having that 20-minute timer makes sense. But if your rules say 15 minutes, there are going to be people who are playing to that. There are going to be people who understand what the 15 minutes kind of feels like. And I mean, really, look at that. There are some people who will, stall out a timer so that they can win. Now, a very specific case of this that's kind of trending right now is between Wolf Glick and Andrew Ding. Not between them. It was more Wolf Glick talking about his experience, saying that he was fully planning on taking advantage of the 15 minutes. But when it went longer, that actually ended up in a certain loss. This was after game one. Wolfglick was actually up 1-0 and would have won the entire tournament had he actually won that game. Now, he's not saying that he would have won that game, but he's saying that, if he had the timer in place, then he would have at least had a chance, which is fair. And that is very true. Now he's using his platform to kind of mobilize the Pokemon community into making that change. And hopefully that change is made. Because if it's a rule, it should be followed. I mean, end of the day, if it's there, use it.
Yeah, I think I speak for both of us when I say that, like, we don't think that Wolf is trying to take away from Andrew at all. We don't think that Andrew doesn't deserve to win because he won. He's the champion. But Play Pokemon or Pokemon Company have to do something about that because either change the rules or change the timer. It's one or the other, but just, have consistency. Don't tell the players one thing and then practice something else. That's not the way
you just got to let them know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now,
that's it.
I mean, hey, but
it's not as big as people are making it be. Yeah,
exactly. It's just, we said it once, that should be the end of it. Hopefully they make that change. Now, again, the big thing that we're really trying to focus on here is the Milotic on Andrew Ding's team, which is going to be today's Pokésports Pokemon Spotlight. A Milotic will typically run a Wikiberry with the ability Competitive. EVs are the longest string of EVs that I've had to put in a Spotlight ever, which is 252 HP, 164 defense, 68 special attack, 20 special defense, and 4 speed, just to give it that little extra boost with a bold nature. Typically, Milotics will run the moves Coil, Hypnosis, Muddy Water, and Recover. These are as you'd see in Gabby's team, best run with Gravity. Hypnosis will almost always hit when under Gravity, or does it always hit?
Now, Hypnosis is 100% accuracy. I believe that it takes 2 coils to make Hypnosis 100%, though.
Oh, that'll do it, too. Now, potential replacement moves that you can do instead. Scald, Ice Beam, Icy Wind. That just depends on kind of the need, depending on how you're using this Milotic.
Now, something that I want to point out, Milotic was just such a champion in those games. In game 2, literally Milotic led. Well, Milotic led both times in game 1 and 2, but in game 2, it led and it stayed on the field for 17 minutes.
Wow.
Or like 18 minutes. However long that game 2 went. It stayed on the field, didn't go anywhere. Milotic was able to set up 2 coils in the beginning of the game, giving it +2 defense and +2 accuracy. It was able to get Hypnosis off, sit there, get 100% accuracy Muddy Waters. When it gets low, it recovers. It's just a ridiculous Pokemon. If you have the opportunity of setting up those coils, then you just become such an oppressive Pokemon because the second you start getting too low, you just recover. And then eventually your opponent can't outdamage your recovers and you don't leave the field, which is essentially what ended up happening in game 2. But yeah. And Milotic, on top of that, is super good now because guess who just got 60% usage in Series 3? Your friend Incineroar.
It's the number. It's got to be close to the number 1 Incineroar killer.
Oh, it actually spiked to 20% usage in Series 3.
That's amazing.
Nearly 20%. Amazing. Yeah. So Milotic's climbing the ranks.
Absolutely. Other options, of course, if you want to. I'm going to pivot this into a how to take care of Incineroar podcast is, bring yourself a nice little Lapras, maybe set up a G-Max Resonance, make sure that nothing can touch you, maybe hit him with a Max Geyser, take him out. You know what I'm saying?
Do the things that Incineroar doesn't want you to do.
Do the things that Incineroar don't want you to do that. Hey, listen. It's time to move on to the QR Corner, which of course is the segment of our podcast where we talk about your questions, we talk about your reviews that you either send to us on email via email at pokesportspodcast@gmail.com or via Apple Podcast reviews. Now we have 2 for you today. These ones are pretty interesting, gotta say. And I'm going to start with one by Bridger Hoffer, who says, "Nice podcast. Thanks. I really appreciate the professionalism of this podcast. Appreciate that. I enjoy the dynamic between Mike and Kevin and look forward to it every Wednesday." I want to kind of take attention to our dynamic, Kevin, you and May, because I feel like we have been friends for so long that we don't really there's no like hesitation between the two of us. Like when you're sounding like a goober, I'm gonna tell you that you sound like a goober.
Yep. The thing is, me and Mike, our dynamic is we put each other in each other's places.
Yeah.
That's our dynamic. When I go off on a tangent, Mike is like, "Kevin, stop." And when Mike starts to fall asleep, Kevin's like, "Mike, start bouncing."
When Mike starts talking about muddy water hitting your howling Pokemon, Kevin's like, "Oh, no."
Kevin's like, "Stop.
You're a boomer. Come on, dude."
But yeah, good news for you, Bridger. We also have podcasts on Mondays now.
Yay.
So you get us 2 times a week with a friend.
I'm really enjoying Pokesports Plus, by the way.
Oh yeah,
talking with guests and all that good stuff.
There's only so much that we know.
Yeah, exactly.
Any more insight we can get is even
We're
better.
Just 2 goobers. And then I don't even know how to pronounce this. Kehebsk. Says, "A solid Pokemon pod. Thanks. Although 1.5 times speed is a must, they deliver some excellent Pokemon knowledge that's perfect for newbies like myself." Now, listen.
You're saying that 1.5 times speed is a must?
You're saying that 1.5 times speed is not is too slow for you? You're saying we talk.
Do you want to speak really? Do you want to speak faster? I can't.
I mean, we can speak faster. I can do.
I can try my best.
Easy, of course.
Well, sorry. Okay. No, but all in all, thanks so much for the review. We're just goofing around.
And I mean, hey, whatever you got to do, right? Put us at 1.5 times speed. We like to talk nice and casual because that's what this is. This is a competitive Pokemon podcast that we don't take too seriously. We don't take too seriously in the fact that we have a casual conversation about the stuff that's going on. We're researched and we have a lot of information to give, but we try and take it as community based as possible. We try and listen more than we talk, even though this is a podcast of us just talking with each other.
Yeah. And if you have to listen at 1.5 times speed, hey,
do what you
gotta do. A listen is a listen. Yeah, listen's a listen, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's going to be all for today for Pokesports Podcast number 17. Another one in the books. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, you can always follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on Spotify under the name Pokesports Podcast. You can do that anywhere that you really find your podcasts, especially on Apple Podcasts, where you can leave us a review, where you can rate and subscribe as well. If you want to see more of us, you can always go to youtube.com/Pokesports. Subscribe to us there because we have stuff that's going out every single day. Check out our merch, like that beautiful sticker that Kevin's holding up right over there of the Pokesports logo. It's gone. You dropped it. Of course, we have our new design out, so you can check that out as well. teespring.com/sports/Pokesports. Yes. Kevin, where can people find you?
X-Rays Ovation, Instagram, and Twitter. What about you, Mike?
Find me at StillJustMike on Instagram or Twitter. You can find Pokesports at PokesportsPod on Twitter or on Instagram or Patreon at Pokesports Podcast. That's going to be all, guys. Kevin, what's next for you this week?
I don't know.
Cool.
Like the Hatterene team that I use, I just got to find a G-Max now. And then that's what I'm going to be doing.
Don't forget to EV train your Pokemon. Guys, this has been a PSA for everybody out there to EV train your Pokemon. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time.